Good morning. Good morning from Faerun, everybody.
Everyone's at the camp.
And welcome to Raw Dogs. We're at the camp. You can hear that song playing in the background. My name is, of course, Caxius, and I am a tiefling wizard.
Ooh.
Oh, excellent.
My name is Story Redbeard, and I'm a dwarven paladin.
My name is Pigeon, and I am a gnomish bard and potent ladies man.
Pote.
Ooh, I like that. And my name is Tito Heavyhand,
Tito Heavy.
I love that.
and I'm an Asmodeus Tiefling.
Excellent.
Yes, and we're talking about Baldur's Gate today.
Yep, that's the plan.
That is the plan.
Nothing's going on with me and Asterion. Quit asking. Why are you bringing it up all the time?
That's the first thing I remember hearing about Baldur's Gate 3. Tyler came over. He's like, I had sex with this vampire the other day.
God, I love the game because I'm such a horny person, and this game is so horny,
It's so horny.
and I get to be a tiefling, literally horny.
Very well.
Them devils, man.
But man, I can just suck and fuck and do whatever, and then do like a bunch of cool magic, and I'm so stoked about it.
Is it bestiality if the bear is a human?
Yes.
Yeah, because they're a bear in that form.
Okay, well, I'm just surprised that they did it.
I'm not king shaming. I did it.
Yeah.
Paulson is like,
I was
come on.
I was quite monogamous.
Come on.
I was quite monogamous.
You married.
Well, I didn't want to ruin my relationship with Shadowheart, so I was like,
Dude, I simp for her so hard.
she kind of won by default.
Because she was first.
Well, she was there, and she was human, which matched my desires more than Lae'zel.
come
But
on.
I know, Dylan, you're like, yes. Oh, but before we get too much into just sex talk, let's talk about the game.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Before we get into, of course, the story, this is a big outline. There's a lot going on.
Cool.
We're going to talk a little bit about the history of where Baldur's Gate 3 came from, and that could be a 50-part podcast series.
Literally, it could be a fucking series. Yeah,
We're not going to do that.
Oh.
And I know Dylan's already like
Well,
bracing for Brad's bullshit today.
no. What I'm going to ask first, before we even start this, has anyone else but me played the other Baldur's Gate games?
I played 2,
You played 2?
but not 1.
I never played 1.
Yeah, me neither.
So we're kind of on the same page.
Yeah.
What were your opinions at the time of Baldur's Gate 2?
I was really young when I played it.
Sure.
And I don't think I appreciated like the complexity of the game and like actually how it worked. It wasn't, I think, till now I'm a little bit older, more of a seasoned nerd, where I was able to like grab a lot of these things and be like, wow, like this shit bangs, right?
Absolutely.
And like really, also like I've been playing D&D for a long time, so I really appreciated how they were able to like make it, in my opinion, it was the best way to grab it and make it a tabletop game.
To gamify it.
Yeah, yeah, like literally like a game.
Yeah.
So
And you played on the PC?
yeah.
See, I first played it on the Switch during the pandemic.
Baldur's Gate 2 on the Switch.
Yeah, it's on the Switch.
You
didn't
are
know that.
you hate yourself.
Actually, there's a lot of modern conveniences installed, and to be honest, it plays like Baldur's Gate 3
Really?
a little bit. Yep.
I didn't even think they offered it on the Switch.
Yeah, so there's like a soft lock system in the same way in Baldur's Gate 3. So picking up items and doing stuff is literally just a matter of walking over and grabbing it.
Okay, cool.
Instead of having your character click,
Yeah.
click, click.
Yeah.
We mentioned Dungeons and Dragons, and I didn't even know when I started playing this game it was based on Dungeons and Dragons. And then I was watching Honor Amongst Thieves, and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
This is the game.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
You didn't know?
No, I didn't know.
Oh, okay.
And I've never been what is this, a CRPG?
CRPG, technically, yeah.
Yeah, I've never
I
been
love
a big
CRPGs.
fan of those.
Yeah.
So this game came out fucking big, and I didn't see it coming. Dungeons and Dragons, though, a fantasy tabletop RPG created by Gary Gygax and David Arneson, first published in 1974. Published by Wizards of the Coast since 1997, commonly recognized as the beginning of modern RPGs and the role-playing game industry.
It's also a popular vehicle for Satan to steal your soul.
This is true.
Yep.
Yeah.
There was
You
a
already had-
bunch of satanic panic about
There was, yeah,
D&D
absolutely,
back in the day.
He already had me, so it's fine.
Yeah. 2000 was the third edition. Third edition rules followed the basis of the D20 system, so I think that means they added the 20-sided die then. 4th edition, June 2008. 5th edition, 2014. Baldur's Gate 3, based on the 5th edition, with some contrivances for gameplay.
Yeah, correct. Yep. Yeah, it does take a lot of liberties, but I feel like most gamers are pretty okay with it.
So I don't know if you'll agree, but I have all the books for D&D,
Sure.
and I've dungeon mastered a few times. And one of the things I can say, because I also have the 4th edition as well, I think the second part of the 4th edition where they added a bunch of more technical rules for certain encounters, and 5th edition, by and large, is more based on imagination rather than adhering to like a specific like dungeon crawling type of thing.
It gives the players, I think, a lot more control.
Yeah.
It should be impossible to make Dungeons and Dragons into a video game. The scope of decisions and improv and just making any choice you want.
Yeah.
It should almost be like the possibilities involved in this game are mind-boggling. Now, when we do talk about the story, we all played a different game. We all played different characters. We all had different experiences.
Yep.
And the fact that they can plan for 50 different scenarios. If this character died, then this character is there. If that one isn't there, Minthara would be over here. It's insane, the level of detail.
Yeah.
It does show a lot of the care that they went into it. They also had a really, really long beta testing where they also listened to the community a lot, which was awesome, right? So they were able to get feedback and also listen to the feedback and also apply it to the game.
Yeah.
So the first iteration of playtesting, you see that, and then you compare it to the 1.0 version that came out, and the differences is mind-boggling. And also it just it shows to Larian Studios to their accomplishment of how much love they put into the game, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I have you played any of the Divinity games?
I've heard Divinity 2 is just insane.
Oh, I mainlined that game pretty hard, and I was just so impressed because I had played Divinity 1, a little rougher, but the same type of D&D format with their own little rules.
Well, they were
there are
supposed to
different
be.
races.
They didn't have the rights to any Baldur's Gate stuff or Dungeons and Dragons, so they were doing their own offshoot.
Yeah.
So that's why when they finally got the rights to it, they were actually able to do what they wanted to originally do.
Exactly. There are races that are kind of, amalgamations of various other ones. There's a full race of full-on lizard people. You could call those Dragonborns.
Hillary Clinton.
Hillary Clinton. Yeah,
Mitch
I've seen the videos. I've seen the videos. There's you can play as, which is what's cool about that is you can be an undead person.
Oh yeah, I saw
cool.
screenshots of that. That looks cool.
One of your main party members is an undead guy. He's also a wizard.
Bernie. I'd make an undead guy named Bernie.
Joe Biden. Hey Jack.
Why don't you shut up? Why don't you shut up, Tiefling?
But there's a lot of that game that I would still say that if you like Baldur's Gate 3 and you want more of it, it's not coming out anytime soon, and it's not going to be done by Larian. Played Divinity Original Sin 2, you don't have to play the first one.
Yeah.
It's still solid as a rock. I would argue that there's some details within Divinity 2 that actually make it a little more compelling at times.
That's what one of my regulars, Floyd, he comes in to the bar sometimes. He's super high on Divinity.
Oh, yeah.
Especially 2. And he said the same thing. Baldur's Gate 3 is amazing, but there's something special.
There's
about
a special
Divinity 2.
sauce. When they made up their own rules, they could do so much more with it. Action turns and movement. It made a little more sense. And maybe that's just because Baldur's Gate 3 does such a great job of really accentuating the freedom of the gameplay.
Yeah.
So you have to be pinpoint accurate. Because I'm going to be honest with you, played a refresher just a little bit on the Steam Deck. I'm getting old, man. I can't fucking read any of that shit on the Steam Deck.
Well, it's also a lot
it's approved
on the
for the
Steam
Steam
Deck.
Yeah.
That to me, that is a big screen game.
Yeah.
I would hate playing Baldur's Gate on a small handheld.
Screen, yeah.
I tried my best, and I bought it for. Now I have it on Steam. It's in my library. Great.
I thought handheld devices were just for Balatro. You can play other games on there?
Sometimes,
think
yeah.
so.
Sometimes.
I don't know.
I did play Death Stranding on the Steam Deck. So resolution becomes a problem. Then you have to go into you have to fuck with the settings quite a bit. And sometimes,
sorry about that.
sometimes there are games that just God of War looks bug nasty, awful,
Got it.
blown up
Yeah.
instead of on the Steam Deck.
Sure.
It's all resolution issues.
Got it.
And fidelity might be the most important.
Sure.
Now, this is a podcast where we drink ale
Yeah,
and lagers.
it's true.
What do we have here, Dylan?
Unfortunately, it's not mead.
Oh, I mean pigeon.
Pigeon.
I couldn't see you down there, buddy.
Today, I brought in the Cave Bear India Pale Ale
Oh, very fitting.
The bugbear.
by the
Very
Rheingeist Brewing Company. I thought it was appropriate. Cave bears. I kind of wish it was called the Owl Bear,
Sure.
Yeah, or
But,
the
you know.
bugbear.
or the Bugbear is pretty good too.
Yeah, the bugbear is the one that's rooting the giant ogre lady in the shack.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll talk about that.
So hot. How did you feel about that?
The
Horny.
first, yeah, we got to beer. Cheers, everybody.
boys. Cheers.
guys. I think this is extremely serviceable. It's a little plain.
That tastes like I'm going to get drunk today.
It's when you get Imperial IPAs, it's hard to hide the booziness.
I don't mind the booziness. It's just that there's not much going on
I
beside
like the
that.
plain. I realize that when it comes to beer, I just need like a very simple,
Yeah.
just give me some hop.
So but you brought a pastry sour.
I did, but mostly because of the name.
The first Dungeons and Dragons video game was released for the Intellivision. So there's a lot. We're not talking about them all. There's a lot. Forgotten Realms is the majority of D&D games. Since 2007, all take place in this setting. Baldur's Gate, Icewind Dale, Dark Alliance, Neverwinter Nights, Planescape, a metric fuck ton of games. The first Baldur's Gate was released December 21st, 1998 for Windows and Mac. And it got an expansion, Tales of the Sword Coast, April 1999. Baldur's Gate 2, Shadows of Am,
It was by BioWare originally, right?
possibly.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. I'm going to go with you're right.
Got it.
Good work, Tito Strong Arm,
Tito Heavy Hand.
Heavy Hand.
Way better.
Yeah, Shadows of Amen came out September 2000 with Throne of Ball, June 2001. Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance, December 2001. Dark Alliance 2, January 2004. Enhanced editions came out of both of them.
Those are fun games.
Those are more,
They're action focused.
yeah.
They're like Gauntlet.
Okay.
Or I would argue closer to like Diablo.
Oh, okay.
That's
Got
kind
it.
of what they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Baldur's Gate Siege of Sunspear, March 2016. Expansion for Baldur's Gate 1. That was released in 2016, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance, June 2021. Not a remake. They tried to make Baldur's Gate 3 a few different times. Canceled RPG developed by Black Isle Studios. It was announced in 2002.
Oh boy.
Black Isle was the guys who were going to originally do Fallout 3 as well. I
Oh,
believe.
really?
Yeah.
Man, they really dropped the ball on some big names.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So they announced in 2002, yeah, we're doing it. And then they didn't do it. Would have utilized a 3D graphics engine. Canceled in 2003 when Interplay lost the rights to develop D&D games.
Interplay, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they had the rights to them.
Yeah, yeah. And so they also had Fallout before they fell apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, they fumbled the bag
No
real
sh-
good.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
I guess they just didn't have money. That was the thing. It's really hard to fumble anything when you just don't have any money.
Yeah, and those are two games with incredible scopes.
You're
Like,
not
you're
sure, right?
swinging for the fences with
You're
both of
not
those.
allowed to say the word fumble while Tyler is thinking about football. Though.
Yeah, no, I just set my fantasy football lineup while we were having this conversation. That's what I was doing.
Larian Studios, we've mentioned them a few times. They're from Belgium. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Independent video game developer and publisher founded in 1996 by Sven Vinke, headquartered in Ghent, Belgium. They have studios in 6 other countries around the world and creator of the Divinity series.
No offices in the United States, unfortunately. I looked.
Otherwise, you'd be there.
I put in for an application as a tools developer, and they have a position in Barcelona or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Just go,
I
buddy.
think it'd be so sick.
Just
And
go.
you speak Spanish, right?
I do.
Yeah.
So I'd be a
Yeah,
shoo-in.
you'd be good to go.
I understand.
I would
I know how to
pretend.
code and I know how to speak Spanish.
I
I'm
can't do either, and I would
Give me
pretend.
money.
I accidentally said a full Spanish sentence the other day. I didn't even realize I know how to say. I
What was it?
Donde está mi hermano? I was looking for my brother, and I was like, holy shit, I knew how to say
Homeboy,
that.
fluent as hell.
It's like when you hit your head and you speak a different language for some reason.
Yeah. Does that happen to you too?
No, but it's happened, at least according to the internet, sometimes to people.
Really?
It's either like, this guy got hit with Burger King foot lettuce.
It's gotten to the point now where I've seen enough anime that I can kind of understand what people are talking about without subtitles in like the native language. I'm just like, oh boy. All right. Yeah, I know what they're talking about. Couldn't translate.
Well, that goes to like the made up language in some video games, like where it's nonsense language, but you can just tell what they're saying.
Yeah.
Or getting at.
Yeah, like The Sims.
The Sims, yes. And I don't want to talk about Astrobot right now, but oh shit.
Oh God.
You get to the Loco Roco stuff.
No.
That song.
It's been a long time.
Have you ever played Loco Roco?
No, but the song
Loco Roco rules.
The Loco Roco song in Astrobot is the best Astrobot song since CPU.
It's been a long time
GPU.
since I've had FOMO, so like I don't have a PS5.
Yeah.
And it's been a long time since like I saw a game come out, and I was like, I need that,
I'm missing this.
and I can't do it. Like I can't ingest this media right now, and I'm like, wow, I am fucking missing out.
Can I give you a little more FOMO?
No,
I'm going to anyway.
No, Dylan, you can't.
I'm going to.
You said no.
I don't care.
and that's okay. I consent.
Okay, perfect. Go ahead, Dylan.
So the trailers, everything that you see in the trailer is what the game is.
Ugh.
It's one of the most representative trailers I think I've ever seen in my entire life.
But one thing, a trailer. We're not talking about Astrobot.
Yeah.
The director of Baldur's Gate 3 is the person who founded Larian Studios in 1996, Sven Vinca.
Yep.
He's the guy that wore the full suit of armor to the Game Awards.
Yep.
That dude is cool.
Homeboy Fox.
Yeah, he knows what he's like. He's like, yes, I will wear full armor.
Yeah.
Produced by David Walgrave, art by Joachim Vlemings, written by Adam Smith, composed by Borislav Slavov.
what a great soundtrack.
What a name. Oh, I'll say that too.
The soundtrack's great. I think most people though just want to hear the
Down by the river.
Down by the River. They just want to hear Down by the River 1,000 times. Otherwise, a lot of the other songs are good. They're more background, but Down by the River is such a theme.
Yeah.
We needed more hurdy-gurdy.
Sure, yeah, I agree with that actually.
Yeah, because the Witcher 3 soundtrack is baller, and it's the hurdy-gurdy. That's what gets you going.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's not enough hurdy.
there's a lot of
I agree
variations
with that.
of Down by the River in the game.
Yeah.
But, like the battle themes, a lot of the other stuff kind of blended in the background appropriately. But Down by the River is just,
I would
head and
argue
shoulders so
I have a quick question when
Sure.
it comes to spoilers.
We can talk about anything.
we can talk
Okay.
about anything.
Because there's so many names, even though Tyler hasn't beaten the game, if
Yeah.
you say something, he won't be able to remember it. Because we're gonna
Well,
mention
fair.
1,000 proper
Well,
nouns.
so you guys did the Raphael fight?
Yeah.
Where he
Oh,
sings?
the lyrics are cool.
Yeah.
Well, my thing, it was like,
It's a little long.
yeah, but it was like this like Disney ass song that I was like not fucking expecting.
I will show you a devil.
But I was also kind of torqued up about it. I was like, go off, King.
He's the kind of guy that would sing while he's fighting somebody. Fuck you, I'm great.
On my, I'm doing a second playthrough now.
I
where it's
unfortunately murdered him super quick. I got him really hard.
like right away? Like you didn't go to the house
I
of
heard
hope?
a lot of the song, but I
Oh.
fucked him
I
up.
tried to fight him because I just
That fight fucked my day up.
I just ran into him for the first time the other day because I'm just now starting Act 2 with my
Oh,
character.
okay. Yeah.
So Act 1 nailed down.
Yeah.
Got that all good to go.
Yeah.
But I knew I was going to run into Raphael again, and I've played Act 1 a lot with different characters. It's crazy how many
Trying to
different
get it
times
right.
you can run into him.
Do you have the case of restartitis?
Yeah.
Got
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Okay. And
Well,
that's one thing that this game
These two suffer from it.
Yeah.
got it.
But
I wanted
hammered
to
it
try
down
all the
with my-
classes.
I know. And you wound up with the right one.
I wound up with,
Oh yeah, sorry.
The most
what
appropriate
class are
one
you?
for you.
for me,
What
I was
class are you?
I was a bard.
Why did I ask?
A gnome bard named
Why did I
Pigeon.
ask?
So I imagined in my mind.
What's his
in the
voice
scope
like? You
of
think
the
it's like
character.
kind of gruff, or is it
Kind
real
of
like
me.
velvety?
Kind of like me, except sexier. That's
I
how
think
I
this is pretty
describe
sexy.
him.
Yeah, but sexy.
You know, it's
I'm having
okay.
trouble imagining sexier.
But
Yeah, right.
I imagined him almost having a tinge of. You guys know Jethro Tull, the band.
Yeah.
I imagined him a bit as Ian Anderson from Jethro Tull, where he'd kind of be mumbly like this, and he'll kind of talk, but then he whips out his flute and he's like, it's just, I imagined him as Ian Anderson from Jethro Tull with my face and a gnomish body.
Hell yeah.
And I was like, okay, now I've got the character, because that guy was hot.
Larian Studios was interested in making a sequel in the Baldur's Gate series for some time. They first approached Wizards of the Coast around 2014, but Wizards of the Coast thought they were too new to the industry. Pre-release materials for Divinity Original Sin 2 made it to Wizards of the Coast, and they're like, oh, okay, we get it.
Yeah.
We were wrong. Please take us back. Teased the week prior to E3 2019, formally revealed for the Google Stadia just ahead of E3.
Wow.
I know.
What a triumph.
I still want to get the Stadia controller. They were on massive sales for a while, and you can just use them for your computer for anything.
I hear they're nice controllers.
That's, I think, the best thing people said about the Stadia.
Also, it can plug in USB, and then you can have it like a stick, right? Or is it just purely a Bluetooth?
I'm not sure.
See, I don't know either.
It turns out no one's actually played the Stadia, so we can't
I
ask
don't
anyone
think-
either.
I think we have one
I don't think I
listener
know
who has.
anybody personally.
I'm
I know a
pretty
lot of nerds.
Isn't a Stadia just a cryptid? I thought it was like Bigfoot, the Loch Ness Monster, and Stadia, Mothman. Like they're all in the same pantheon.
I hear.
Yeah.
I heard as much. I
Long
heard
time
from my
ago.
uncle down on the bayou that he saw a Stadia wandering the swamps.
Turns out it was a goat. But all the same.
In October of 2020, it was announced for Mac. There was a module, an adventure module, like prequel adventure for D&D released related to this game directly, called Descent of Avernus.
Oh yeah.
Features a lot of the characters and sets up what happened immediately before the game starts.
Before they're
that's
all
cool.
captured by the Nautilus.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
I would like to play that.
It'd be fun. I could run that
It,
for
it
us.
takes
I have that book.
roughly 100 years after Baldur's Gate 2, and then BG3 directly from the end of it. Christopher Perkins, D&D principal narrative designer, described the module as Dungeons and Dragons meets Mad Max Fury Road, which sounds cool.
Yep.
Sign me up.
It's kind of interesting.
And it features, I know Lazelle, I didn't want to, this outline was too much already, so I didn't want to like write a plot synopsis. But yeah, that was released September 17th, 2019. Early access for this game began October 6th, contained only the first act, amounting to around 25 hours
October
of
6th
content.
of 19.
It was.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow,
So
they did early access was
So-
No, it was, dude. I'm telling you, they did like play testing for years. It was very, very impressive.
So previous guest Nick actually talked a lot about he was in like the beta testing for Baldur's Gate 3.
So was Miles.
who's Nick?
One of our failed co-hosts.
Oh, yeah, Nick. That was a long time ago.
I didn't know how else to describe him.
No, he didn't fail. He got married,
Well,
which all of a sudden means he had like 3 kids.
wait, how does that
I would
happen?
call that a
You got married. You don't have 3 kids.
Yeah, but Carly didn't have children before.
Oh.
And then he moved to a farm and never responded to a text message ever again.
Well,
Nick,
no
if you're listening,
signal.
send us something, man. We're worried.
Send up a smoke signal.
Yes. Did you do early access as well?
No, I did not. No, I actually I didn't play it till it came out, and then I was avoiding it because I was in school, and once I finished school, I was like, cool, I'm gonna go balls deep, and then I did.
Yeah. I played PS5.
Yeah, I did PC.
You were
Xbox.
Xbox, and was the
So I had to wait a
Xbox
while.
had issues when it was released initially, right?
I didn't experience issues.
Okay.
I personally didn't. I imagine that there might have been, I'm not a huge frame rate guy, and I appreciate it when it's high, but when it's not,
It's better high.
It sounds like Stockholm syndrome in my
when
opinion.
it's not, well, it's not. It just doesn't matter as much to me because I know what's going on. And
Sure.
I saw this
if
dude
this is a
playing
narrative
Elden Ring
game,
on the Xbox One. I'm like, dude,
that seems gross to me.
that was chugging. The load times look gross.
No.
No, I am a snob. I need my 2K monitor with a billion FPS. I'm so annoying. I hate myself.
It's and that's absolutely fair, and I understand people's arguments. But for me, there might have been a lot of stuttering, but I just wasn't paying attention to that.
Yeah, you were just
Okay.
actually like in the story,
Yeah.
which is fair.
I played a lot of stuff on the Switch that wasn't meant to be on the Switch.
Most things.
I'm always performance mode. I'd rather have frames than like higher quality images.
I just like pretty visuals.
To me, it's like if there's janky frame rate, that's worse than anything.
Sure.
Not here nor now. The Stadia version did get canceled.
Dude, that's a fucking bummer, dude.
I know.
Why?
There were literally tens of people disappointed.
Yeah.
February 2023 announced the game would be for Windows, Mac, and PS5 on August 3rd of that year. The PS5 and Mac delayed to September 6th and then September 22nd for Mac. It came to the Xbox Series X December 7th, 2023. That was delayed due to performance issues on the Xbox Series S with split screen co-op, which was cut from the Series S version. Now, the reason Xbox got a little screwed on this is because they were insisting it works on both the Series S and the Series X, and they were having issues with the S, so it got delayed on the Xbox, which really hurt Microsoft.
Oh, yeah.
Because everyone was jumping in as soon as they could on PlayStation.
That split screen console shit was so good.
They recently patched it in a different way now, where like the screens join when you get close and they can separate.
That's actually
Yeah.
annoying.
I haven't seen it.
It's really cool.
I've done it.
To me, I think I'd rather have them join when possible, but
I prefer
it
the
is a
split.
vertical split, right?
It's
Yeah.
vertical, yeah.
Ugh, that's always weird to me.
yeah.
So I don't want that if me and my partner's characters are doing two different things. The joining up is where you kind of get discombobulated because there's this like merging effect, and then when you move out of frame, it splits again. And I don't think it's visually very distracting to me.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if I were playing, and I have a large enough television where if you keep it split, you can still read everything.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
I've never seen an issue with it. Not like where you were playing like GoldenEye and you had a small corner of a CRT to try and kill your opponents.
Oh,
in
those were
multiplayer.
the
What I always hated were racing games where they chose the vertical split instead of the wide split.
Oh, always get the vertical.
it never
split.
worked for me.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm a hot dog style, not a hamburger. Wait, a hamburger, not a hot dog
Yep.
style.
Hot dog cast. That's what we do.
I know, but horizontal looks better.
Yeah. The first patch came December 2023. They added 2 new difficulty modes and a new playable epilogue, which is really wild to me. The epilogue wasn't there initially.
Right.
They also added the ability. They added penis physics, I believe, in this first patch.
Did they add the jiggle?
I think this was right away. Yeah.
I didn't know about the penis or the nakedness.
Yeah.
And I was organizing my stuff, and what I was doing was just removing everything and then going to reapply in order.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, everyone was naked at camp, and I was like, "Holy, what?
Oops.
They're hanging dong."
Yeah. You're like, Carly, close your eyes.
No, I'm like, Carly, get in here. My character's got a great dong.
my character's penis looks surprisingly like mine.
Well, most penises in the game, I think, are the same, right? You don't actually get to change.
Well, there's uncircumcised and circumcised.
but you don't change anything else about the dong, correct?
No.
Well,
No,
there is
unless
there
you
is
mod it on PC.
yeah.
You looked into it.
Maybe.
I think there's,
alter
I
my
think there's
dong?
one that is smaller and one that is bigger though, because they have options A, B, C, D.
No,
E.
it's circumcised, uncircumcised, bush, no bush.
Right. So
Tyler
the
has done his
default.
research here.
I have spent a lot of time in the character creator, and
So-
I'm not
story-
entirely proud
Story
of it.
Redbeard.
If you ever want to know what my penis looks like, it looks like penis D.
Penis D.
Speaking of not talking about that, yeah, and they've added like tons of dialogue every time they've done a patch, which is
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah.
The cost of getting actors back in studios and recording stuff is not cheap, and you don't see studios do this often where
No.
they keep adding more things.
I saw like a stat that it was like they have more dialogue than like all of Game of Thrones or some shit like that.
Yeah, it's.
I believe it.
It's baffling.
It's when the every single scenario is accounted for.
Yeah.
and
Everybody's talking.
Yeah.
There aren't
Yeah.
in a lot of RPGs. There are some like pivotal scenes where they'll talk, and then you'll catch them outside of it, and then it'll just be text.
Yeah,
walls
yeah.
and walls of text.
we all played as Tav, which is a
Yeah.
created character.
Yeah.
Then there's also the Dark Urge, but then there's the origin characters.
Yeah.
And each origin character has different dialogue with everybody that you don't get to see because you're not playing as them experiencing the entire story.
Yep.
It's an insane scope.
Yeah.
I wouldn't fuck with the origin characters because I wanted to make my own.
Well, I've heard that it's a very cool way to replay. I would love to do the Dark Urge.
Yeah.
I would have issues with a lot of it, but the Dark Urge redemption that can happen is sick.
Oh, the resist. Yeah.
Well, there's a whole scene with Withers where he's like, yeah, dude. He's like, this guy. We'll talk about that.
Okay.
But patch 7 came out September 5th, very recently.
Yeah.
But they've mentioned they will have a photo mode and cross-play and plenty of bug fixes in their next patch. But this is the first significant patch before they shift to the next game fully. So they're moving. Official mod support featuring an in-game mod manager. My brother on the Discord immediately showed that you could play as the fish people. Like that's one of the mods where the Kuatoa.
Sure.
You can play as any race. The mods essentially
Yeah,
they're
they
opening
also
a can
add-
of worms.
Yeah.
They also added classes. I know that the Artificer is a huge mod.
And I'm sure people will finally get to bring Alfira with them everywhere, which is something a lot of people have been talking about.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, what's up?
It,
And she's like, you can't even play songs, dude.
right.
I'm like, fuck me, I guess.
Please fuck me.
Please. Yeah, she didn't swing that way, though.
No, I know.
No, she can get a girlfriend at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're the Dark Urge, you straight up definitely kill her. It's written into the game.
Yeah.
She comes to the camp, and you wake up next to her dead body.
Yeah.
The Dark Urge is insane, dude.
Dude, it's the most unhinged way. Like I can't do it because I'm so soft.
I would never
But-
talk to an animal because almost like any animal you run into, the Dark Urge blacks out and kills them.
Yeah.
I can't wait to try this playthrough because I'm a paladin and I'm a
Hell
good
yeah,
guy.
hell
So
yeah.
like
You haven't broken your oath yet.
I've not. No,
Do you have to choose an oath as
Yes.
a paladin?
Yeah.
I took the oath of vengeance.
What's that oath? What does that mean?
Basically,
They're
my
tenants. They're like moral tenants.
yeah, but mine is to like protect the weak against the wicked. So it's a very easy to follow. Like if person bad, person die.
Dude,
Person
I
good,
love
person
paladins
live.
because it's just there's just no gray area. It's just like I will smite you.
Yeah. My favorite thing about playing a paladin, and you use it quite a bit in Act 1, is like you'll come across people arguing, and my paladin just walks up to a conversation he has no business being in. And he's like, I'm a paladin here. I'll judge who's guilty. What's going on?
Yeah,
And they're
especially
like,
at the
excuse
druid
me?
camp.
Who the
He's
fuck
like-
are you?
I studied this in college, everybody. I'm in charge now.
But then you have the double dice roll, and
Yeah, I
you
get-
always succeed when you're just like, listen, everyone, I have a higher calling. You just have to trust me.
I'm going to take care of this for you guys. We didn't ask for your help. Just shut up.
How do you know this? Oh, my vibes. Yeah, I just go off of vibes.
There's actually a
There's
point
these
in the
things
game.
called chakras.
yeah.
So my character was so persuasive and so like he never had intimidation, but he could persuade people into believing he was other classes at certain dialogue options. And you would always have like a disadvantage, but you could still try for it. I convinced someone I was a paladin, and I'm just like, yeah, you know that one god everyone likes? Yeah, I'm a part of that.
My biggest,
You don't look like one.
My
I'm
biggest
like,
gripe with the whole like dialogue system is sometimes my character would lie. I want to lie, but the other people can't pick up that I'm lying. Like I want to just say I'll do one thing, and then everyone's like, Shadowheart disapproves. I'm like, yo, I'm doing something.
I'm doing a bit.
Let
Can you
me
just go
cook.
along? Yeah.
Let me cook.
I'm doing a bit. Can you just play along?
Don't you give me that fucking look right now. I'm trying to save this person's life, and you're ruining this.
Right? Yeah.
We'll talk about it later, I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah.
You're actually right though. There are circumstances where there isn't an option that I would use for my character.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the times, a lot of what my character was into was very like peaceful negotiation because oftentimes you don't want to go through. Boo! Because I like you know, I've got the whole thing of like I'm an anime kid. I like turning the bad guys good and like forcing their hand on certain things. There's shit I won't forgive. I'm like, well, you murdered a bunch of kids. I'm going to have to kill you.
Oh, darling, I'm sorry.
And so like Asterion loved me because I was a good liar. Shadowheart loved me, and I didn't like
and
her
Gale would
advances.
fuck anyone.
Well, Gale tries to teach you magic like the third day at camp.
Here, let me hold your hand and show you.
He's like, it seems to be getting intimate. And I'm like, I wouldn't have let it. I just thought he was trying to teach me magic. I thought that was cool.
I thought we were homies. And then he tried to kiss me.
And then he's
Whoa.
like, he gives you like bedroom eyes, and you're like, bro, I'm just going to go.
The new patch also added 13 new endings / scenes referring to evil playthroughs.
Yeah.
Staggering.
Smart.
Yeah.
And they're like straight up your character, all the evil shit. There's a few sequences where they just show you murdering your entire party like viciously.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
It works on old saves. The censor nudity option also now censors moments of extreme gore in these scenes. Improvements to honor mode combat. Now, I never fucked with honor mode.
No.
I fucked with it.
If you're in honor mode, many of the bosses have new legendary actions, so they'll surprise you, do new things. And the ability to have honor mode rule sets and custom playthroughs. We mentioned the split screen overhaul. And mid-combat reactions UI improves so that if multiple reactions become active at once, you can select which one to use from a list instead of one by one.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yeah, because when there's so much happening, all of a sudden I'm back at camp, I'm like, where is Lazelle? And she's getting chewed out and like they're accusing her of stuff. And I was like, I haven't seen her in 20 minutes. She's been stuck there. It's weird. It's hard to realize how that system works where certain characters can be accosted and you will be out there. I didn't even realize for a while that certain characters weren't around.
I think there's like an internal clock that's actually happening. So there are certain milestones. You can as we know, Gale has like that sickness where he needs to absorb magic from magical artifacts. You can stave that off for an extremely long amount of time. So you're not giving up all your magical artifacts.
I don't think anymore though.
Well, and now you can also the new patch, you can just choose artifacts out of the chest.
Yeah.
Like it shows all the available ones so you don't have to bring them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also saw that Gale, if you bring him to camp and you never talk to him and never do anything with him, he'll leave you a letter like, hey, this has been magical and stuff, but I'm going to explode and I need to take care of this, so I'll see you later.
Yeah.
I make sure to talk to everyone at camp.
Oh, I have a whole routine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hi, Shadowheart. Hi, Karlach. Gale.
Okay.
I mean, Lazelle.
It's that whole Key and Peele skit.
Yeah.
Yep.
It is, yeah.
Halson, Jaheira,
Well, at the end of
Gale.
like at the end of Lazelle's run, after getting close to the end of the game, I've never beaten the game. I just haven't. Because I got close to the end.
It's only 110 hours long, Dylan.
Well, I got to Baldur's Gate and I got really overwhelmed.
Insanely overwhelmed. That is
and-
such a big... Act 3 is
just-
so much happening.
And I was kind of like, I kind of liked this journey that we were going on, and I like everything else that's involved in this. And I just couldn't finish it because I was just too
A lot of people
blown
struggle
out.
with that. Yeah.
And there's a point, I am going to go back to it, but I went in as Pigeon and I looked at all my stuff and I was looking at my completed quests and I said to myself, I have to start over. Like, I can't remember story beats from Act 2. Like,
Sure.
It's staggering how much carries from Act 1, 2 to 3.
I know.
If you're keeping people alive.
Yeah.
And also, now there is a way to get Minthara in your party by not being evil. And I
The
want,
only party member I didn't have, I found out later on, oh, that person I killed.
Yeah.
the one I just sniped with Asterion.
I want her to defile me so bad.
What I noticed was I was looking through my equipment, and at some point I got to the underwear, and all of a sudden I have Halson's underwear, this person's underwear. I'm like, Minthara's underwear.
You took them.
And I put them on. I was like, I'm like, whoa.
Goodbye,
Yep.
horses.
Yeah. Did a fruit basket, called it a day. Yeah. Minthara,
Yeah.
you're thirsty.
Dude, I love that drow. I don't know what it is about. It's
She's
intoxicating.
sexy. She's
It's
sexy as fuck,
intoxicating.
yeah.
There's also the brothel.
Oh
Where
my
you-
god, you went and slept with everyone you possibly could.
Yes.
It's an option.
100%.
Who was your OTP though? Your one true pair.
Shadowheart?
Okay.
I was
How about
bummed. I was
everyone
bummed
here?
Karlach wasn't into it because I was ready.
Oh, I made the mistake at first. I thought you could just be like laissez-faire, just blah blah blah.
Well, and when
I got too deep with Shadow Heartwort, it kind of cut off my Karlach because Karlach 2.
Yeah.
Like, oof.
Well, and Lae'zel came at me. I'm like, it's not me, it's your face.
So Story
Really?
sleeps.
Yeah.
Story sleeps with everything that moves except.
She doesn't
for
have a
Gale.
nose.
Lae'zel's hot though.
She looks like Voldemort.
She
I
does.
don't know. I think she's
I just don't
hot.
like how racist she is.
She's also very racist. Yeah,
Hey,
that is
Shadowheart's kind of racist too.
If you
only
progress-
against good people.
if you progress with her, if you progress with Lae'zel, she actually becomes a very
Wait, no,
interesting,
agree,
like
yes.
very sweet character.
Her development is crazy.
Yeah,
Yes,
and-
agreed.
What? Yeah,
Because it ended up at the end, I had to choose between Lae'zel and Karlach.
That's an easy choice.
Easy.
easy.
Karlach,
Yes, mommy.
Big Mommy. Yes, I'm a fan of Big Mommy too.
When I walk up, it's like, hey there. When she calls me soldier, I'm like, I'm a big boy. Thank you.
Yeah,
I am a big boy.
Well, I slept with her the first night.
Can you set me on the counter again?
I slept with her the first night, and I thought after that, like, she's like, oh, your prowess very good for a gnome. Oh.
Yeah, no. My first day at camp, I'm like, all right, so I'm sleeping with all you people.
Yeah.
It's a speed run to see.
Yeah.
But Gale, leave me the fuck alone.
Wait, so I'm sorry.
Gale is kind of a creep.
I like Gale's
What?
story, but the
don't
fact
like
that he
Gale
comes
that
on
much.
so hard.
I love Gale.
I like Gale. I use him a lot, and I'm playing in this playthrough. That Story just is not picking
I also
up
like
on
he's like
anything.
my crutch in my party. Motherfucker gets so powerful.
But that,
Fireballs.
it's just that one scene where you think you're hanging out and talking.
I know.
Because I was a historian. So
Yeah.
I like talking about magic and history. And then all of a sudden, he like put his hand on my leg or whatever it is. I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
I
This
was
is
like,
not what I was misread. We're not on a date. Dude.
I thought we were just pals, Saruni.
Yeah.
I'm like,
me
I know
too, but
you
I was just like,
me.
all right.
Just because I like Harry Potter doesn't mean like I'm into it.
And he's like, "What are you talking about? I wore my Axe body spray. I put on Dave Matthews Band. It's beautiful outside tonight. What are you not picking up on?"
Don't blow up my move, dude.
Yeah.
Also, all he can do is talk about his ex-girlfriend. That's
Yeah.
the least attractive
She
thing.
was a goddess, dude.
She is hot.
Yeah.
I almost had sex with her.
I love that at any point of the story too, Gale can die. Like
You can
you can have him
literally-
blow up as
yeah.
a technique, and if he dies, there's a unique scene where the closest party member, he's like a ghost, like you need to revive me because if you don't, I will explode. There's this.
I just did this.
You can see a scene online where
Gale
sometimes
blew up.
No, he died, and then he's like, "Hey, yep, what's up? If you're seeing this, I'm dead. It's very important that you bring me back to life." And then he's like, "There's a pouch on
So you
my
just go
neck."
to Withers.
No, he's like, "There's a pouch on my neck," and he gives you these absurd, like 5-step long, like procedure you have to complete.
if you don't and you do a couple long rests, game over.
Yeah.
But
So
it-
the whole world explodes.
Yes.
because if he doesn't take care of the thing inside
So
of him,
he's a nuke.
Yes.
he's a walking nuke.
I
But-
didn't realize he was a nuke.
No,
I
the
thought he would just like
Netherese
blow up
orb,
shit around
No,
him.
the Netherese orb is like.
Okay.
And that's why I keep him like he's one that's constantly in my party. If I bounce him out for a minute, because I'm planning on like a big fight coming up or something.
Sure.
He's my magic missile man.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
Magic missile.
Eldritch Blast.
Yeah, Will.
Mad props.
Yeah. Misty Step plus Eldritch Blast, like it just like
OP.
bouncing
I just need
The
to
around.
fact that
mention-
that's a cantrip seems like it's OP.
Yeah.
So when he does die, the closest party member is the one he has the scene with. It's possible that Scratch will be the closest one. And and he's saying this all to Scratch, and Scratch just keeps like turning his head left and right. They have the whole scene.
That's so good.
Yeah, check it out online. That shit's,
I love that.
that shit's wild.
Do you pet Scratch every time you go to camp?
Whenever you do,
And I throw the ball. You got to do enrichment
Yep.
activities with your dog.
I love it. Everyone's
I
like,
took my dog to the dog park just today.
everybody approves.
No.
Everyone's like, hell yeah, man.
Every time I pet Scratch in the game, I pet my dog in real life, and
Yeah.
it's like playing a 4D game.
So this runs on the Divinity 4 engine, based on the 5th edition D&D rule sets. Like we mentioned, some tweaks and modifications. Single player and cooperative multiplayer. Any of you fuck with co-op multiplayer?
I have you.
No,
Yeah.
but I want to.
I've
Jordan
done
and
it with my friends.
Jordan and I
Yeah.
actually started a playthrough.
Pros and cons with co-op multiplayer. Now, you start a playthrough together. You always play everything together, or you can choose to go by yourself.
You can go off and do your own shit, and you can recruit party members on your own, but you guys still count as the same playthrough. So Jordan could go off and meet Lae'zel. I could go off and get Will out of that portal. And then later on we could...
Gale, yeah.
Sorry, that's what I meant. And you guys we could all reconvene back at camp. And then all the party members, we would have to talk to them kind of individually, but their progress in terms of like sociability contributes to your progress as well. Because if you're seeing it go on screen, you don't have to repeat it.
Yeah.
Because if they're going to say the same shit, who gives a fuck? Now, ideally, they want you to play this as a D&D game, so they want you in the same party doing the same shit. You confer with the person in real life. You say, all right, well, let me do it because I have higher persuasion. And I can deal with this situation. If things go sour, go hide up on that cliff, and then you can snipe them.
Yeah.
That's usually how I work things. But I've seen some wild playthroughs where people did weird shit.
Yeah.
Just because they weren't playing with each other.
Yeah.
You can make things happen a lot faster in the game. You can speedrun the entire game.
I've watched the speed run. It's like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Essentially, you just set yourself to be able, whatever the cantrips are, like the long rest spells, to do major jumping.
Yeah.
And you just jump across rooftops. You just jump to end, you skip battles, and yeah, you get through the whole game pretty quick. Flexible quest system. Various approaches to resolving every quest. You can eliminate almost any NPC, regardless of their importance to the storyline. First time you see Raphael in Act 1, if you can kill him, they have it taken care of.
Pretty impossible.
I tried to fight
It's
him.
possible, though.
It is possible.
And then the story adjusts appropriately to like your gear and everyone else down the line, which is pretty wild.
So you get all of Raphael's really sick gear early on.
I'm not sure what gear he has in the first scene, but
I know he's got like a rapier or something.
you can get a lot of good stuff early on, though.
That's sick.
That's a 3-act structure, different distinct regions, non-linear format to tackle quests, and virtually any sequence in the act. Combat is turn-based. Most mechanics and spells are taken from the tabletop RPG.
Yep.
And we're about to get into characters.
So can I first note how brilliant it was that this is not a purely open world game? By segmenting it, they made a modern marvel of storytelling. Just having these kind of it's like a D&D session. It feels like each act is like its own little campaign, and then then the thematic structure changes from each to each.
Yeah.
And then because what's the max level in D&D now
12.
that you can actually get to? 12. So what's cool about it is it really does want you to split that. Like if you reach level 5 in Act 1, which I assume most of us have, pretty easily if you do a lot of combat.
Yeah.
It doesn't want you to be that powerful right away.
Yeah.
Because when you get into the harder difficulties like Tactician, once you reach level 5, it's basically just balanced in terms of difficulty.
Sure.
So I like that it's segmented out, and each of the world has so much like little areas, little crevices that there's one, even when I was doing my refresher, I'm like, I didn't know there was a way over there.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's a shit ton we all missed in every one of our playthroughs, I'm sure.
Yep.
And I was trying to be diligent and not miss anything and to go through every step, and you just see what the possibilities were for every single quest. The Dark Urge, when Gale sticks his hand through the portal, you can just rip his arm off and trap him in the portal. You can.
So if Gale's in the portal, where does the portal lead to?
I forget.
Could he not explode in
don't know.
there and everything would be fine?
Also, for listeners, we're going to not know everything. If you have unique anything about all of this, tell us.
Yeah.
Some weird stuff did happen playing my paladin that did not happen with my bard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some of the races, classes, origins. We won't be exhaustive by any means, but there's 12 character classes with 46 subclasses. Each class focuses on a different aspect of the combat system. As far as characters, 10 companions available to recruit. All have personal stories and a narrative to explore. All have relationships that can be developed. There are also hirelings, where Withers will hire people. You can pay him and then steal your money right back. No consequence. Withers does not care. And it's a really easy way to abuse this. I found this out the other day. You can hire 10 hirelings to stay in the camp, use their long rest abilities every time you stop, like use a long rest to just bolster whatever like Longstrider or whatever. You could add all of those and just keep them in the camp and never take them out.
Really? Actually, I didn't know that.
Yeah, because you just go there, cast the spells on your main guys, and then leave.
Huh.
Yeah. It's a way to kind of break the game, and it takes a lot of extra time in camp.
Yeah.
But if you're in a tricky spot, throw a few hirelings out and just use some other long rest spells.
I did a full playthrough. I didn't use hirelings once.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
There's enough characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little. It's just too much to manage.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
All characters, both major and minor, are fully voice acted and motion captured, amounting to approximately 1.5 million words of performance capture. Jesus. Free floating camera. You can use fully third person to an isometric top down view. Interface has both a keyboard and a controller mode. The different character options: custom, Gale, Shadowheart, Karlach, Will, Asterion, and Lae'zel. You can choose any of them to be your main character, as well as Dark Urge. 93% of people choose custom characters. 7% choose origin stories, with the majority choosing Gale.
It's interesting.
I was surprised.
I'm more or less. I could not,
even just objectively, I'm like, Gale does not look like the coolest person out of the lineup.
Well, he's a wizard. That's probably what drew people to him.
Yeah.
Well, here's what I imagine. It's a pre-made character with a pre-made history, and you don't know that history right away. So if you're going as the origin character, you're diving into it without any of the knowledge that the character has, which seems kind of counterintuitive to a role-playing game.
It's not. There's more history to him, but it's not too different than the Tav, where you choose like, this is my background, and then it informs a lot of your decisions.
Right.
Correct.
You also just know Gale loves magic, and he loves fucking anything.
Yeah. I mean, fair enough.
Can't disagree with that.
And Julian's like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I love those
I'm
things.
in.
I just wish there was an option where I can say, hey, buddy, ditch the little earring. It's kind of...
After a year, Asterion is now the most preferred origin character. The Dark Urge, a ball spawn. It sounds funny saying it.
Ball spawn.
A ball spawn. Created from the flesh of Baal himself, grew up outside the cult of Baal and was taken in by a couple. The Dark Urge has a relatively peaceful childhood before succumbing to the urge and murdering their loved ones and foster parents. You get a unique camp follower and like assistant named Scaleritus Fell, which looks like a character from like a Halloween Disney movie or something. It's like a little dude with like a top hat and like face paint.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And he's a goblin-like creature, your loyal and ever-adoring butler. And he... I don't even know where my notes come from. It says, reveals to you that you were a necrophiliac at one point.
That's awesome.
I mean, that's
Great.
pretty...
That's
I would
awesome.
assume so.
I mean, yeah.
Races.
At one point you were. It was a phase.
I don't know. That feels like something, if you do that, like that's kind of always with you.
Yeah.
Like you made a very important life decision.
You
at
don't
one point.
un-necrophiliac.
Yeah.
I'm
You
pretty
can't
sure
take
that's
that
something
back.
that sticks with you.
You don't get
Yeah.
a 10-year badge or something.
Yeah, right.
Haven't fucked the undead.
Yeah.
Races. Dragonborn. Proud race that values clan and skills above all else. You almost don't see any Dragonborn in the game.
They're
at
very
all.
rare.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were enslaved by dragons. That's where they came from.
I like that you can choose which type of Dragonborn you are, so you can like spit acid or you
There's
can
a
breathe
lot
fire.
of-
10 sub-races.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a lot for that one.
Well, it's pretty much any element, there's a version of that.
Yeah.
Dragonborns make actually really decent fighters because having a long range with a fighter, pretty good. A long range magic adjacent
Yeah.
attack, very good.
None of us played Dragonborn. There's not even too much to say. The Drow. Driven to the Underdark, most Drow have adapted a ruthless pragmatism, while the Loth sworn delight in the goddess evil's tenets. The Seldarine reject her attempt to overthrow the leader of the Elven pantheon. Yeah, they're elves. They're underground elves.
Yep.
You like them?
So much.
They're really fucking hot.
Super.
Do you have a thing for Kate Blanchett and Thor Ragnarok?
Yes.
Dylan is a thing for Kate Blanchett in everything.
Well, I mean,
I do, but I just needed to know because it's the same type of energy.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. I want to mean mommy sometimes.
Mithara, I'm saying, it's just like,
Yeah, I know.
just slap me, please.
Yeah. We're not going to... None of us were Drow, so we won't talk too much about that.
No.
The-
I tried playing as a drow. It's okay.
The dwarf. You were a dwarf, right?
I am a dwarf.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the dwarf.
As durable and unyielding as their homes of stone, dwarves are some of the finest warriors, miners, and smiths of Faerun. There's 3 subraces. The gold dwarf, your hit point maximum increases by 1 and increases by 1 again every time you gain a level. Shield dwarves, armor proficiency with light armor and medium armor. And the Dwergar, once enslaved by the Mind Flayers, they adapted to freedom with harsh practicality. Yeah, underground dwarves.
I'm a golden dwarf.
Nice.
Yeah, it's good.
How was the dwarf experience?
It's cool.
Everything must seem so big.
It is, and like the animation of him running is really fun to watch because he's so broad and stocky.
When he has to get down from a high ledge, he bumps
sits
on his butt like he's a kid and he jumps down.
Like he'll sit on the edge and then jump
Yeah.
off.
That's funny.
That's
My gnome does that too, to be fair. But
Yeah, I love it. It's adorable.
I feel like there's a lot that I missed out where it says only a small character could get through this hole. I was like, what's in there?
Well, so
you
you can reduce person to get through there.
Oh, see, I'm a druid.
Yeah,
So
you
I
could
ha-
reduce.
Well, I
right?
just change. I do the wild form change.
Yeah.
So I just change it to a cat, and then I
I have Gale set with reduce person because if you need to evade combat and someone's about to die, it makes your evasion like so much higher.
Oh, sure.
So I'll reduce one guy and then I'll teleport them
I
away.
didn't even know reduced person was a thing.
My thing was I'd make Karlach giant before I'd start a battle. So she just like big mommy. Yeah.
Super mom.
Yeah.
Isn't that
And
the,
you're a dwarf, so you're like, whoa.
What spell is that?
Mega mommy.
And I don't know, enlarge. There was like a potion that I used.
Oh, the strength of the hill giants or something like that.
There was
Yeah,
something
that's,
to
and
bigify.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Elves. We don't need to mention. Everyone knows what an elf is.
Yep.
None of
Legolas.
None of us were elves. The Githyanki.
Boring.
A little boring. The Githyanki.
I really want to do a Gith playthrough.
They're really good monks.
I think they have the most unique dialogue for races in the game. Certain races don't get much anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Githyanki, because you go to a lot of the crashes, and there's just a lot of unique scenarios with them.
So apparently, if the more you get, more tadpoles you get as a Githyanki, they the more Ithalid wisdom checks, the less they cost. So like you become like one of the best psionic users in the game.
Oh, sure.
If you go
yeah,
for the
they're very,
tadpoles.
very powerful psionic.
Exactly,
Yeah.
but you start out with Ithalid wisdom, which can kind of bypass a lot of the story because you kind of already know what's going on.
Sure.
It's kind of cool. I started a monk character with it. I'm like, okay.
the Githyanki were all completely enslaved by the Mind Flayers for millennia, and now they're free and they seek total destruction of the Mind Flayers.
See, and that just I can wrap my head around that. And restart itis is a real thing because every now and again I'll be playing and I'll be like, be a lot cooler if I was a Gith.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just want to know, which is why I've tried every possible, not every possible combination because that's impossible, but
I've played Act 1 3 times.
yeah.
I did my first playthrough through and through.
Yep.
And now I'm starting my second one. I'm just planning it out a little bit differently, but
I didn't start a new playthrough, but I did reload probably 10,000 times.
oh sure.
Yeah, I've
Save
never-
scumming.
I've never saved
no,
scum.
No, I want to win that one. No, bad. Redo.
Redo. This is better.
There's one battle I got fucked, and I had to save scum like 50 times to get through a battle where I was in the wrong scenario, so I had to be perfect.
Oh,
Precise.
sure.
Yeah.
I had that situation with my dwarf.
Our gnome, you were a gnome, Pigeon.
Yes.
Yep.
Pigeon's a gnome.
Pigeon is small, clever, and energetic. Gnomes use their long lives to explore the brightest corners and the darkest depths. They have advantage on intelligence, wisdom, and charisma, saving throws. All have dark vision. And 3 subraces, rock gnome, forest gnome, and deep gnome.
Deep gnome, yeah. I was a forest gnome. I will also add that in the canon of Dungeons and Dragons, gnomes love cigarettes.
It's so sick.
They
like
barter with cigarettes.
Hell yeah.
They're obsessed with smoking, riddles, and cigarettes.
I
Damn.
love it.
Am I a gnome? Shit.
And they just like having a good time. That's why I was like, I gotta be a gnome bard.
Yeah.
Come on.
We have another beer, Dylan. What do we have?
We have the Terror Bird. Imperial India Pale Ale from the same company, Rheingeist Brewing. It's good. I had a lot of I had a lot of this yesterday. I actually think it's a little more interesting than the Cave Bear, but I chose these because they are essentially monsters. And Terror Bird stood out because in the Underdark there are those Velociraptor emu style things, so I thought it was appropriate.
That's what they are.
Which ones are those?
They're just they look like the Terror Bird.
Now,
I had such a traumatic experience in the
They might
Underdark.
actually be called Terror Birds.
And like when I was in the Underdark, I just had such a traumatic experience. I could not wait to get the fuck out
Was
of
it
there.
those burrowing assholes?
It was everything.
It was
just everything. Just being under there.
it was only a little bit better than an underwater level.
And you're not a
Dude.
fan of mushrooms?
No, and that fucking tower. Oh my god, the fucking tower.
Where you had
Moonrise?
no, he's talking
no,
about the Wizard's Tower with you had to go to tactician mode.
Yeah, that thing
yeah.
fucking beat my ass over and over.
Yeah,
and
and
over.
then
Now
get to the top of that
there's-
fucking tower.
There's some other races. Okay. We'll get to
Sorry, yeah.
half elves. Someone's mom was an elf, dad is a human. We know what happened.
Or the opposite?
Half orcs. You can't play a full orc, but you can play a half orc.
I played a half orc bard
Yeah.
for Act 1.
What do we think that is it because orcs are just a little bit like
They're a little too,
they don't make a lot of decisions. They're just like very one track.
yeah. That's essentially it.
Half orcs are creatures of intense emotion,
Mostly anger.
more inclined to act than contemplate. Whether the rage burning their bodies compels them to fight, or the love filling their hearts inspire acts of incredible kindness. Proficiency in intimidation, of course. The halfling. Small yet capable, halflings prefer the comforts of home and hearth, but their natural luck and dexterity makes them fine adventurers. Hobbits.
Yeah.
Mordor.
Yeah. Humans.
Boo.
Boo.
Not fun.
You can be anything.
Not fun.
And you chose to be a human. How creative.
Not hating on people that choose humans, but it wasn't for any of us.
Oh, I'm hating.
I'm a little bit. Yeah.
I'm judging.
The most popular race, at least on our Discord, the Tiefling. You'll notice on our thumbnail there's more Tieflings than anything. Descended from devils of the Nine Hells, Tieflings face constant suspicion in Faerun. Thankfully, their arcane abilities make them natural survivors. Your blood protects you from flame, abyssal, or otherwise, and you have resistance to fire damage, taking only half damage from it. Plus, you look cool.
And a cool tail.
You got a tail.
Cool horns.
Yeah. Different different
Karlach.
styles of horns. Yeah.
Karlach. You know. She's.
Karlach.
Oh, I love her.
There are a few different kinds of tieflings. The Asmodeus.
That's me.
Yep. Bound to Nessus, the deepest layer of the hells, these tieflings inherited the ability to wield fire and darkness from Asmodeus' infernal bloodline. The Mephistopheles tiefling, that's me, descended from the archdevil Mephistopheles. These are gifted with a particular affinity for arcane magic.
That's the same house as Raphael, by the way. That's Raphael's daddy.
As Mephistopheles? Mm-hmm.
So like when you kill him, Mephistopheles is the one that gives him the spanking.
Ooh.
Yeah. Fun fact.
You know every spank in this game, don't you?
Oh yeah.
Have you ever had? Have you guys ever seen Cats?
I have not.
Memories?
I'm still waiting
All
on
Alone
them.
in the Moonlight?
I'm still waiting on the
Never.
butthole cut.
Ever was there ever a cat so clever as magical Mr. Mistopheles?
Oh, I was like, where's he going to weave cats back
Insert
into Dylan
the
does
song.
Dylan does this brilliant thing called the weave, where he talks about 10 things at once, but it somehow gets back.
Also, that was perfect as to why he's the bard.
Yeah.
I didn't sing it well.
The most popular race is the elf,
Yeah,
I
what?
guess.
according to stats.
Elf Ranger, Elf. I just
Yeah,
want to know what the
Legolas.
pairings are. Like Elf Fighter, what?
The least popular race is the halfling, and there's over 100 non-playable races in the game as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
An elf, really?
I don't know. It's a classic fantasy race.
Everyone
People
wants
like
to look
elves.
hot.
I don't know. They all kind of look like MGK to me.
I'm never gonna be able to get that out of my head now.
Yeah, take a look at it.
Yeah.
You with your not beard growing asses out there.
You're
I
not.
have to have a beard in the game. I feel like it's a fantasy game. I have to have a beard.
Yeah.
And I was like, an elf would be cool. And then I'm designing the character. I'm like, I look like a fuckboy. I
But
don't
you can
like
put
this.
you can put beards on an elf.
No, you can't.
You can't?
Nope, only half elves.
Yeah, I've never seen an elf with a beard.
Yep. because I was gonna do it, and then I look like a fuckboy, and I'm like, how am I gonna intimidate anybody?
I would like an elf
with a dangly cross earring.
I would like an elf that makes me look like Clark Gable or something from Robin Hood. That would be
that'd
pretty
be
dope.
A little like pencil
Like
thin.
the weird swish up with the little Van Dyke down there. Yeah, that'd be pretty
I call
cool.
it the Harvey Keitel from Little Nicky.
Okay, we have a different frame of reference. That's okay.
Lots of classes. Briefly mention them if you want to talk more. Just jump in. Barbarians use their martial martial prowess, primal rage, strengthen themselves, dominate in combat.
Yeah.
Barbarian is so much fun. It's why Karlach is pretty much the only staple in my party. Like
Now,
very rarely is Karlach not in my party.
Karlach was the person that just whooped ass the most.
I
Subclass.
actually struggled with her in my party. I don't know if I maybe like built her wrong or whatever. But I had to do Lae'zel was like my fighter.
You need mobile enhancers for her, so you need
She would
artifacts.
just miss all her fucking hits.
I know.
Like when
So-
she hit, she was like a fucking bull.
So the best thing to do with barbarians is
yeah.
to take advantage of like advantage and also getting close enough to a group of people, because then when they tried to get out of your way because they knew that you were going to attack them, you do
opportunity attacks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or
So
you
that's the way to do it.
my go-to move is Gale puts him to sleep, and Karlach walks up with fury.
That is Gale's go-to move.
Yeah, Gale's like sleep, and then Karlach comes up and hits like two of them.
haters here. Oh my god.
Gale is a bit of a incel.
At least Gale's interesting enough, whereas Will isn't even interesting enough to hate.
Will, we haven't even talked about Will.
Yeah.
Have you noticed we haven't brought up his name once?
He's a cool character and all, and I really enjoy the Warlock class, which I'm sure we'll get to here.
I don't know. I don't know
call
how
him he's Nepo baby.
How did he wind up boring? Because he's
know.
got such a great story.
He does, yeah.
Yeah.
He's kind of Nepo baby for me, so I'm not into
I think
it.
initially he hated Karlach, and I was like, well, you're done. Like, I don't care about you.
Yeah.
Karlach is super sweet and interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't hate on Karlach. That's
Yeah.
fucked up.
The Bard.
Bard is a lot of fun.
Ring, ring. Now I chose
What
the
is-
College of Lore.
A fairly broken class, right?
Very much so. Technically, the best one is the School of Swords. But I chose the School of Lore because I found myself using a lot of debilitation magic, and having a boost to that
Your
was
singing
more
is
important.
so bad, people are debilitated.
Well, it's partially that. Oh, but if you're the
Is everything singing?
no, but it's not. No.
Okay.
So a lot of it can be things like you can enhance, like you can tell a story out in the D&D games. You're telling a story out loud, and that story can lull people to sleep, much
Yeah.
like you would a child.
You do like
Or-
performance, like so you can like if you're trying to like deceive someone, but you can like put on a performance,
Yeah.
right? Something like you really boast it up or whatever.
It's also probably you're able to inspire.
Yep. Exactly.
Give a good speech.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's
rile
also the
people up.
SWAT.
For Frodo, and then it was like, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
There's also like the swashbuckling bard, which is what Chris Pine was in like Honor Among Thieves.
Such a good movie.
It's really fun.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the difference. I liked debilitation magic because it would allow me to get more control of the battlefield as a wider scope. You can do some really crazy stuff. I've beaten bosses by turning them into sheep. So, and then one hit killing them basically,
Yeah.
which kind of breaks the game entirely.
But it's in the rule set and available in the universe, so it's cool that it's there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
With one sword, there's sword bard, there's sword school, there's lore, which I chose, and then there's a third one. Do you happen to have that written down?
No.
Oh, that's okay. No worries.
Clerics worship and enact their deity's will to the world, for better or worse. Shadowheart was the most useless character.
At first.
At
then
first, she's useless.
Once I changed her class, then she was great.
Yeah.
Because the cleric class they give her is also less useful.
It's I forget the one that they give her, but yeah, you can give her like you change her to like cleric of life or whatever, and then she becomes a healer, which is like super useful.
Yeah.
I forget which one.
She's like the mixed class,
Yeah.
where there's an offensive cleric, and then there's a healer cleric.
Yep.
And then there's one in the middle, and she's that.
Yeah, and it's
And it's
just
the one where
useless.
if you weren't my girlfriend, you wouldn't be here.
yeah.
It's just like, sorry guys, I know Yoko's bringing down the band.
Shadowheart missed.
Again.
Thanks.
All of her attacks have like a 50% chance. That's the part that pissed me off
So
about
bad.
her.
I forgive her though.
Yeah.
I was never into her.
I wasn't at first, and then like I said, no pun intended. I pigeonholed myself.
Whoa, you can't. His name's Pigeon, dude.
That's my word.
Yeah.
And then I ended up
pigeonholing sounds weird now.
I ended up simping. I was like, damn, you're kind of badass.
Yeah.
Also, I love her voice. I was like, oh,
And she does have a very sweet voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, her.
Are you and I the horny ones today?
yeah, for sure.
Well, her the voice actress's real life girlfriend. She's like, I started simping for my girlfriend in the game too. Yeah.
It's a very good voice.
Full
Like,
circle.
they got such great voice actors.
Oh, my Lord.
Everyone
Everyone's
sounds
incredible.
different enough. Like they still have that kind of, I don't know, that vaguely European kind of twang.
Yeah.
But everyone is distinct and everyone emotes correctly.
Yeah.
And that's motion capture, right?
Yeah, there's also just one character that people like talking about more than anyone else, and that's Asterion.
Yep.
That voice actor gave such a unique performance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it was like, I think the first night I had him in my camp, I let him suck the blood from me. I let him.
Go for it.
I may have died. Whatever.
I told him to
He
get
doesn't know how to stop.
No, yeah. He
Yeah.
just goes a little too far. You're like, oh.
Well, after you get that, you can basically say, look, we're going to kill a lot of people around here. You can drink their blood.
Yeah.
He's so good at making you feel worthless, cheap, and stupid.
Yep.
The way he talks about you and looks at you, I was like, dude.
Now, did you guys choose? What subclass of thief did you choose for Asterion?
Assassin.
Assassin.
I forgot which one.
Thief. Because thief has a bonus action. And one of those bonus actions for Asterion can be drinking their blood.
Maybe I did do thief because I did do a lot of blood drinking.
I needed him to pick all the locks because my other characters could not do it.
Yeah.
Oh, they didn't have enough decks?
It's also the sleight of hand boost as
sure.
well as like all the equipment I gave him. Like I never had problems opening up any chest.
Asterion was wanted everywhere around Faerun because I'd bring him in, he'd steal from everybody, and then he'd be gone, and then the police would show up like, hey, is there a sexy elf guy here?
No, never seen him. Who?
And Asterian's like, oh, darling. You're doing a terrible job.
Yeah, no, I also enjoyed when he was demeaning to me.
Sissy that.
So
ball.
essentially, you like anything and everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not very picky over here.
Except Gale.
I love Gale.
Druids are closely attuned with nature and the animals that live in it.
That's me.
Halson, you were a druid.
I was a druid.
Yeah.
Yeah, druid, tiefling.
Were you turning into owl bears left and right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
can
that
stay as an
that
owl
and
bear for
you
so
also
long.
get saber-toothed tiger, which was awesome. That was one of my favorite things because, like, essentially, if you ever got low in HP, you just wild form change, and then it gives you the HP. You basically
And then once
Oh,
it
resets
breaks,
your HP.
yeah, it's kind of broken in its own way.
yeah, I mean, if you die in that form, you go back to your regular form, and you're still low HP, but it gives you a bit of a time, and then you can also change to like the Myrthodons or whatever. So you do like elemental damage and shit like that. It's really cool.
That's the character that the redhead from It was in the movie, a druid tiefling. Because she would change to like a million different
Yep.
creatures, I remember.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I really role played like the whole like nature thing and whatever. It was fun.
The Grove.
Are you
must
going to
have been-
recycle that?
Yeah. But yeah, the choices were always funny. It's just like it gives you the choice where it's like, oh, like what do you think about humanity? I'm just like, fuck humanity, dude. I think nature's the thing, right?
Fuck those people. Have you looked at that flower recently?
Yeah.
Dude, I met
Why you
this
stepping
tree the other day. Whoa.
But yeah.
So cool.
Yeah. So obviously I saved the grove and all that shit.
Being a tiefling druid in the Grove would be an interesting
Yeah.
combo because they're kind of at each other's throats.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be that. You get a lot of good options.
I was able to be like a very good moderator between
Yeah.
the two of them. Also, fuck Kaga, the
Well, then she was a spy.
what a yeah, no, but what a bitch. Like, she died so fast when she was trying to kill Arabella.
I was bummed that Halson forgives her.
I actually, in my game, I believe now. This would have been probably like 7 months back. I believe I convinced them to jail her or exile her, and I think she was.
Oh, I just
eventually.
killed her.
I
Threatened a child.
I should have.
Yeah. Tito Heavy Hand shows up and was like, come here.
I was just like, what are you doing?
What are we doing?
You're just stinking of
Did anyone
Halson, Gale.
Now, did all
You
the
just
other
reeks of
druids
sex comes in like you're done.
did the other druids defend her in the fight? You killed her.
It depends on when you do it.
Yeah.
So they could still be on her side, or they could have turned against her.
No, I think all the ones that were with her I killed. And then Halson put in, I think her name's Francesca, who is like another druid elder thing, and then puts her in charge
So you had to fight that beautiful wolf? Did you kill the wolf?
Yeah, I think so.
I love when you talk to that wolf. It's like another stupid human coming here. What are you gonna do? Pet me? Fighters use their martial expertise to fight enemies. Kind of a blasé class, but straightforward if that's what you're looking for.
They can be fun.
Yeah. Monks, unarmed combatants, capable of spending key points. We know about that. Classic class in every video game. The monk.
Come over here so I can punch you.
The monk is actually interesting because you can go into like an elemental monk, which has kind of the last airbender powers.
I heard it's supposed to be a little bit broken, the monk.
The
Like, you can
the
really
open-
fuck shit up.
The way of the open palm
Yeah.
is the way to go about it because you can like stagger people, put them to sleep, and you can dart across the battlefield.
Yeah, you're
super quickly.
very mobile as a monk,
Yeah.
and it's always been enticing. I always thought about making one and calling him like Jean-Claude
Well, think
Van
about that.
Goddamn, or
Now-
something crazy.
That's a pretty good name.
Now think about this: the leap ability with the Githyanki.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. It's so enticing. I keep thinking about it, and every time I'm playing a story,
It's
I'm
good.
like, you're great.
Do you guys
Mistwalk.
rename all your characters?
I name
per?
them. I rename them every time. Yeah.
You got it. I
Even
use
the
this-
other ones? No. What are you
mean?
talking about? Rename characters.
No,
like
I'm
when you
saying,
start a new game.
Yeah.
Oh,
I give
okay,
them
see what
different
you're
names each time.
Yeah, no, I'm always feeling something different. Like I get a vibe, and I'm like,
I came up with Tito Heavy Hand like 10 years ago during a D&D campaign.
That's pretty good though.
And
That's a good name.
I was a paladin so being a bartender for a long time, I was told I had a heavy hand. So like I was like that's
That's
well,
such
you're a big guy.
That's,
so, yeah.
that's a compliment.
but yeah, so that's why I was like, oh, and then obviously like
Oh, it's old skinny drinks here.
So
you
I
don't
was,
want you don't want that nickname.
so I was a paladin who was just absolutely drunk all the time, and in that D&D session, all we did was drink anyway. So
Yep.
I was just hammered and
Roll for
smiting
dexterity.
people all
Roll for
the-
dexterity. Speaking of paladins, masters of a variety of weapons and armor, channel the power of their sacred oath to heal the sick and injured and to smite their foes. Rock on.
Love smiting.
Rangers, in tune with nature and their surroundings. Rangers utilize both their knowledge of the wilds and spellcasting to pursue their prey.
Just be a druid.
I think it would be. I would find this class to be boring until I found out they can speak with every animal by default, which got me. I didn't know you could speak to animals until near the
Druids
end of
can
Act
too.
1.
Druids can too.
And that changed my mind about, like, it changed my life. Like, I can talk to Scratch.
But being
Because I convinced him to be my friend before I knew I could just chat with the boy. Chat with
yeah.
the boy.
But what I and I'm not sure if you guys have done it, but one of my favorite things that you can talk to rats, you can talk to
Oh, yeah.
There's
like-
so many
you
cool
can talk to
animals.
everything.
and it actually like sometimes like it helps. It was in Act 3, you go to the Elf Song Tavern,
Yeah.
and I'm not a cat guy per se, but I would talk to every cat that I
The
found.
cats are all very accurate to cats.
but often they give you a lot of really good information.
yeah.
Right, so you chat
They'll
with
tell
a
you
cat.
about a secret wall.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They'll tell you about like little things, or like
Yeah.
they'd be like, "Oh yeah, be careful! Like don't go there because it's like full of whatever."
There's one that's like, do you promise to fight with me and to be my friend forever? And you can say, yep. He's like, not interested now. Wow. If you say no, he's like, well played, sir. Cats are so wild,
Yeah.
dude.
So I believe if you have the Oath of the Ancients, your paladin can actually speak with animals every long rest.
I just brew a bunch of animal speaking potions and keep
Smart.
them on me.
Smart
Yep.
enough. Rangers are interesting because becoming like a really good sniper in the way, if you set it up correctly and you have Asterion also kind of being your sniper, you can kill some major shit before anything even starts.
Everybody just wants to be fucking Aragorn. I feel like though.
Yeah, Asterion could sneak attack, move so far, and then also wicked range. My Asterion was super
And
effective.
his disengage is awesome too. Like
Yeah.
he's just able to like go
Disappear.
in, fuck somebody up, and then just
Yeah.
scatter.
We got rogues, well versed in the art of stealth and rely on their resourcefulness to be in control. Rogues are cool. Sorcerers, innate magical powers to fight enemies and aid allies.
Wasn't sorcerer like the least picked class in the whole game?
It's got the weakest DPS.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Least popular class was cleric. Most popular was paladin.
Fair.
Yeah. There's also warlocks, channel their patrons' pact magic to fight enemies, and then there's wizards.
Mizora.
I was a wizard as well.
Mizora.
So you're saying another character
Made you.
I super did it.
I almost had sex with her.
I didn't almost. Shit was crazy.
and you're like, who's this Will guy people keep talking about?
He was so pissed. And I was like, come on.
Bro.
Dude, at least. Hey, she's in a good mood now.
Yeah.
Also,
I'll
hold on.
talk to her. Dude.
I would have signed a contract with Raphael, okay, if the way Mizora had a lot of class, she brings 2 sexy demon broads to sign the contract. I'm like, how do you not? Come on, all the flair.
I'm
don't
outnumbered
disagree.
here.
I don't disagree with you. The devil stuff is a huge thing for me.
I was just like, oh my god.
Can you imagine Kate Blanchett with horns still?
Oh, stop.
I have. I've seen Thor.
Oh, very good point. You have. Yes, I was a wizard. I was the illusion school.
Oh,
Specialized in unraveling and restitching the fabric of reality.
He talks shit about Gale. You're Gale.
I made Gale like destruction.
Nah, dude.
I made him evocation.
I wasn't annoying, dude.
But canon-wise, he's School of Illusion.
Yeah, can't.
Yeah.
I switched him to evocation so I could get more like deep, not quite
Deep
area effect.
Hell yeah.
Fireball is one of the best spells in the entire game.
Yeah. It also is cool.
There are backgrounds on top of classes. Acolyte, Charlatan, Criminal, Entertainer, Folk Hero, Guild, Artisan, Haunted One, Noble, Outlander, Sage, Soldier, and Urchin. I was a Sage.
Oh, me too.
Curious and well-read. Unending thirst for knowledge. Yours was getting laid. Learning about the rare lore of the world.
pussy.
I just wanted to, when I was having conversations, if there was like learn more about the history or speak about it, I wanted that.
I loved having the.
That's smart, though. Yeah.
I wrote some notes just so I could remember. Yeah, I had a wisdom of 17.
I think I was up there too.
Yeah.
Although I have seen people's playthroughs where they play the dumbest character possible and they get everything wrong. They miss all the dice rolls. It's like, that looks like a fun option too.
Well, it's like playing Fallout and doing the idiot savant. Whatever.
Yeah.
Never done.
Oh, really? Like a Intelligence 1
Never
playthrough?
played
Never
Fallout.
played Fallout, yeah.
We're just going to, before I get
It's
mad,
okay.
we're
It's
just
fine.
going to go past
Don't
it.
worry about it. Don't worry. He's got a lot of time.
Yeah.
And do you guys remember your backgrounds? Want to say
Yeah.
anything about them?
Folk hero.
Nice.
Kira.
Now,
I'm surprised you didn't go Haunted One.
a
Put some
story,
eyeliner on.
Yeah,
No,
very emo.
story is a very he's pretty popular back where he's from. So I figured folk hero, like he's a paladin. He's going to be judging people all the time. Like he's dealt with people, especially in like different cities. People would know who he is. They'd be like, oh shit, here comes that short fucking dwarf dude with the red hair that's going to tell me my business.
I was also folk hero.
It's a good, very popular kind of even keel background to have.
Yeah.
It's also one of those things where I didn't choose it based on what kind of stats it was going to give me. I tried to do it based on what I thought Pigeon would be, and I kind of found him to be kind of a bit of a rock and roller, well before his time. So I was thinking like, instead of being a performer and doing like flips and shit, that he was more like a folk hero where he would go around and be persuasive and stop people's problems before they happened, and he would be known as like a negotiator instead of a fighter.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I chose.
Yeah. Removed backgrounds that were in the game, Hermit and Sailor, which both sound like really cool backgrounds.
Sailor.
Sailor,
So
right?
sad.
Yeah.
What do you get for those? What are the bonuses?
I'm not sure. They were initially in early access, but taken out.
Hermit
Got it.
sounds rad. Can you imagine being a hermit monk who
Lived in-
pops out of retirement?
Lived in the woods, hasn't spoken to anyone in 50 years.
That's cool.
Really good at making chartreuse.
Starring Nicolas Cage.
Who the fuck is Chapel Rowan?
I still don't know. I've seen a lot on Reddit, and I'm like, who's this?
That's been all over our Discord lately too. We are all Chapel Rowan fans.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
100%.
I guess I am too.
Pink Pony
You
Club,
would.
baby.
Okay.
Oh, Pink
would.
Pony Club's
Okay.
so good.
Yep.
I think it's the best.
Yep.
It's,
I don't know.
it's an anthem.
Red Wine Supernova is still like top tier for me.
I like
Also-
Fem-
it's
I like
that-
I also, love
Feminine
the, I also love the name.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's cool.
You got to get on the Chapel Roan train.
Yeah, you do.
I'm gonna have to listen after this.
So we're gonna finish this episode here. Thank you for listening. If you liked this, you should write a review. If you have issues with things we've said about your character or your race in game, write to us at hairthedogcast@gmail.com, or
If you're a human, don't at me.
Don't at me.
If you're a human cleric, just shut up.
You human garbage. Yeah. Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, all of that stuff. Reach out to us.
Write it on the wall at your favorite dive bar.
Yes. Write down Story Redbeard was here.
Yes.
If you're a drow, please hit me up.
Also, if you're not a drow, please hit him up.
Yeah, also that. Forget what I said about humans. Please add me.
And, sorry, Gail, I lost your number.
Yeah.
Special thanks to executive producers Ryan, Christy Nick, Kipper, Brian Ward, Jordan Hoff, Phil Wright, Phil Just Phil, Kelly Gutowski, Justin Melly, and Imagine Wagons 69420. We appreciate your support. And yeah, we'll be, if you're on our Patreon, 1 week from today, you're going to get the next episode. If you're not, sucks to be you.
Yep.
But thanks for listening.